On January 31, 2013, a 21-year-old college student named Elisa Lam checked into a hotel in Los Angeles. She was traveling alone across the United States, documenting her journey and sharing updates with her family. But just days later, she would vanish without a trace. Weeks later, investigators would make a horrifying discovery that would shock the world and turn her disappearance into one of the most disturbing mysteries ever caught on camera. And it all began with a strange elevator video. Elisa Lam was a university student from Vancouver, Canada. She was known to be intelligent, curious, and adventurous. Elisa loved traveling and often wrote about her experiences on her personal blog. In early 2013, she decided to take a solo trip across California. During her travels, she arrived in downtown Los Angeles and checked into a place called the Cecil Hotel. The hotel had a long and troubling history. Over the years, it had been connected to crime, violence, and several unexplained deaths. But Elisa likely had no idea about its dark reputation. For her, it was simply an affordable place to stay during her trip. At first, everything seemed normal. She explored the city and continued updating her blog. But then something strange happened. On January 31st, Elisa Lam suddenly disappeared. Her parents expected her to check in with them every day. But the calls stopped. Soon, her family grew worried and reported her missing. Police began searching the hotel and surrounding areas, but there were no clear signs of what had happened. No witnesses had seen her leave. No evidence suggested where she might have gone. Days turned into weeks. Then investigators discovered something unusual. A surveillance camera inside one of the hotel's elevators had captured footage of Elisa shortly before she vanished. When the video was released to the public, it quickly spread across the internet. And what it showed left people deeply disturbed. In the video, Elisa Lam enters the elevator and begins behaving in a very unusual way. She presses several buttons on the control panel. Then she steps out of the elevator and looks into the hallway as if she's trying to see if someone is there. She quickly steps back inside and presses even more buttons. At one point, she hides against the wall of the elevator, almost as if she's trying to avoid being seen. Then she begins making strange hand gestures in the hallway outside the elevator. But the most unsettling detail was this. The elevator doors never closed while she was inside. After a few moments, Elisa walks away down the hallway. And that was the last time anyone ever saw her alive. Weeks later, hotel guests began complaining about the water. Some said the water pressure in their rooms was very low. Others said the water looked dark and had a strange taste. Maintenance workers were sent to investigate the problem. Their search eventually led them to the rooftop of the hotel, where several large water tanks supplied water to the building. When one of the tanks was opened, the worker made a shocking discovery. Inside the water tank was the body of Elisa Lam. Investigators tried to piece together what had happened. But the case raised many confusing questions. How did Elisa get onto the rooftop, which was supposedly locked and secured? How did she manage to climb inside the large water tank by herself? And perhaps most puzzling of all, what exactly was happening in the elevator video? Authorities later concluded that Elisa Lam's death was likely the result of an accidental drowning, possibly related to a mental health episode. But many people believe the case still contains unanswered questions. To this day, the mysterious elevator footage continues to fascinate millions of viewers around the world. Was Elisa Lam's death simply a tragic accident? Or is there still something about this story that we don't fully understand? The mystery of Elisa Lam remains one of the most chilling true crime stories ever recorded. And even years later, the questions surrounding her final moments continue to haunt the internet. Subscribe for more true crime update.